Hello and welcome to our 16th session and the 5th session in our robot modeling. And in this session, we are going to conclude this robot modeling by adding eyes and details in the head section. So for this, I will come into Blender and I will open 315 robot design stage 4 file. I will select the head and I will press Ctrl I. I will press Ctrl I to select everything other than the head, and I will press H to hide it. Now with this head selected, I will press 1 and come into the front view, and I will enable this reference images. Now I will come into wireframe mode, and you can see there is a slight shift in between the reference image and our head. So I will press tab, come into the edit mode, and I will press GZ and I will slightly move it to the top like this, and I will press tab. Now we are going to design these eyes, and then for this head I am going to add a modifier, subdivision surface, and I will keep both viewport and render port value to 1. I am going to select this head, Shift D, I will duplicate, right click to place it at the same position, and I am going to call this, I will give it the name as shrink wrap, and then I am going to temporarily hide this shrink wrap. I will come back to this head, and here I need more vertices to work on this eye. So for that, if you come to modifier, I have already added subdivision modifier here. I will come here and choose apply. So when I click apply, you can see I got more vertices and faces here to work on this. Before I start working, whenever I am doing this editing, select this, press, come into edit mode, and when I make the modification of these vertices, what happens is, because it is a curved surface, whenever I select a vertex and whenever I move anything, this may move away from this surface. So to avoid this, I will right click and cancel it. I will press 1 and come into the front face, press object mode and come into this object mode. And in the add modifier, I am going to add a modifier called as shrink wrap. And in this, the target object, I am going to choose the shrink wrap model that I have chosen here. And then now with this head selected, I will press tab and come into this vertex mode. I will press 3 and come into the side view. And whenever now I am making the selection, what happens is some of the faces on the back may also get selected. So to avoid it, and I will see that this toggle X-ray is on, and then I will drag a box and I will select all the vertices over here and press H and hide it. Now I will press 1 and come into the front view, and I will come into the face selection mode, and I will come into this solid state and I will enable this X-ray mode now. Face selection mode, I will select the faces that cover this eye. So I will start from here. With control click, I will click till here. So all these faces are selected. Then control click till here, control click till here, control click till here. Then control click to here, control click 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 here, and control click here. So with this entire selection done, now I am going to delete all these faces. So I will now press X and I will choose delete faces. So now all these faces have been deleted. Now I will come into vertex selection mode, and with alt click I will select this entire edge and I will right click, and in the loop tools I will select circle, and then I am going to come into this setting, and in the radius I will just reduce this radius and adjust it so that it sits with shift pressed. I will vary it so that it slowly changes. I will set its radius somewhere to this value, that is I have added 0.12, see, and then I am going to next press SZ and I will slightly scale it like this to move it to the top like this. Then I will press G and I will slightly move it and place it over here like this, and then I will press tab, and now you can see that a round cut has been created. Now I will press 1 and come into the front view. I will press tab again, and now the next thing is I am going to select this vertex and this vertex and also this vertex. Then I will press SZ0 to make it straight like this, and I will press enter. Now similarly I will select this and this vertices and press SZ0, and I am going to make it straight. And I will come into face selection and I will select these two faces now, and I will press X and I am going to delete these two faces. So now if I come in, press tab and come into the object mode and see, we have a perfect cut here and also a groove here. I will select this head, and in the shrink wrap I will click on apply shrink wrap. Then I am next going to press tab and I will press Alt H to unhide everything. So after unhiding everything, now I am going to select these cuts. So I will disable this toggle X-ray, and then using the vertex selection, I will select 1, 2, 3 and 4, these 4 vertex point, and press F to fill it. Similarly 1, 2, 3 and 4 and press F to fill it. Now the next thing is I have to also fill this eyes, and to fill this eyes I will press Alt and select this entire loop, and if I press F I will get a fill, but I am going to press Ctrl Z and undo it. I want this fill to be made with quads. So for that I am now going to press Ctrl F, and in the menu I will choose the option grid fill, and when I select grid fill, you can now see that you have a grid and this entire thing is now filled with quads. In the previous session, when we modeled the body, we manually moved these points and we created it, whereas we have a tool called grid fill which will automatically create quads and fill the structure. But now the only thing is, if you come into the option here, in the span, the number of span is 2, and if I increase this to 3 or 4 or 5 and I will make it 6, or so I will add 6, and in the offset I am going to click here and rotate it and make it straight like this. So I will set 2 offset and 6 span, and I have now got a face like this. And now I will now select these two faces also with shift press, and then I want this to be slightly extruded, so I will press E and I will slightly move it back like this. I will extrude it a little like this, and I will extrude it by around minus 0.02, and if required I will press S and I will scale it down a little like this by around 0.9% like this. So I will come into edge selection mode. I will press Alt and select this edge. With Shift Alt I will select this. With Shift Alt I will select this. With Shift Alt I will select till here. With Shift Alt select till here. Shift Alt here. Shift Alt here and Shift Alt here. So I will select this entire thing and I will press Control B and I will add a slight bevel like this. So I will make it bevel like this, and I will make the bevel around 0.015, and then I will increase the segments here, so to add a kind of smoothness here, and I will press tab. Now here I am going to press tab, and then I will press Alt A to deselect everything, and then I will come into face selection mode, and I am going to circle select. I will select all the faces here like this. I will right click, and then I will press E, and I will slightly extrude it by around 0.05. I will add a slight extrude like this. Then I will press Control numpad plus twice, and then I will come into vertex selection mode. I will right click and choose the option smooth vertices, and then I will increase the repeat to around 4-5, so that you get this smooth finish like this. And then I am going to select the central vertices here, and then press Control numpad plus to select this area. I will again press Control numpad plus one more time, and then I will press X, and I am going to delete these faces. Then I will Alt click on this end over here. I will right click, and I am coming to loop tools and choose circle, and then I will press S, and I will scale it down a little like this. So I got this scale down like this, and after this I am now going to press E, and I will extrude it inside like this. I have extruded it, and if required I will press 7 and come into the top view, and in the wireframe view I will see that I will press G and slightly move it like this and make it parallel like this, and then I will come back to solid state, and I will just rotate this, and here I am now going to press ES, and I will scale it in, and I will press ES again, scale it in, and press F to fill. And after adding this, then finally I will come into edge selection mode. I will Alt click this edge to select this entire edge, then Shift Alt and select this edge till here. I will select this entire loop like this, and I will press Control B, and I will add a slight bevel here like this. And if I press tab now, and then if I actually now come over here, and if I come to add modifier, and I am going to add one more subdivision modifier, and I am going to increase this in viewport to level 2, I am going to see the eyes like this. Now only thing is I will press tab, come into face selection mode, I will press C, and I will make a selection of all these sections like this. I will select these sections, all these sections like this, and then I will right click and then scale X, and I will slightly scale it little to the X, and I will press tab, and now you have one eye ready. And now I want the same eye on the other side. So for this I will press tab, I will press A to select everything, and then come into mesh and choose symmetrize, and in symmetrize direction I will change it from +X to -X, and now if I press tab, you can now see you have it on both the edges, but only thing is now in the center here I have to remove this. So for that I am going to disable this subdivision surface a while, and then come into face selection mode, and here you can see some of the faces created here like this. I will select all these faces, press X and delete these faces, and once you delete it, you have a structure like this. So what I will do is I will press tab, I will come into vertex selection mode, I will select these 3 vertex here and press F to fill it. Now select these 4 vertices here and press F to fill it. 1, 2, 3 and 4. These 4 vertices and press F to fill it. And finally, I will also select the bottom one here. I will press 1, 2, 3 and 4. So, I will select these 4 vertices, press F to fill it. I will select these 4 vertices and press F to fill it, and then select these 3 vertices and press F to fill it. And finally, I am going to select this quad 1, 2 and then 3 and 4 and then press F and fill this. Now, if I press tab and if I enable this subdivision surface, now you can see that you are able to see this eye correctly. And now we have this head ready, and now if I press Alt H and unhide everything, so right now when I unhided it, the shrink wrap is also unhided. I will select the shrink wrap, I will right click and I will delete this, and now you can see that our robot is ready. It has the eyes and we have made this robot ready. So now I will come over to the top, I will switch off this reference image and we have our final robot ready. So right now I will come into file, save as, and I am going to give this the name as 3_16 robot design stage 5, and I am now going to click save. We have successfully created a robot from a design given by an artist. So with this we conclude this edit mode chapter, and from the next class we are going to discuss about the modifiers.